Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today we're going to talk about a book that many of you requested, and that is Verity by Colleen Hoover. If you are new here, welcome. I am obsessed with Colleen Hoover books, so if you like Colleen Hoover, then make sure to stay tuned, because I do have more videos coming up. And if you have already watched some of my other videos, welcome back. You've missed any of them. So let's get into it. This video will be divided into two sections. So if you are watching this, just keep in mind that there is a first section and second section, so that you can skip to the part you want to hear without having to listen to everything. Also, please keep in mind that I'm not saying anything bad about the book or the author. This is just my opinion, and you may differ. So if you don't like it, you can always leave and go read something else. So let's get into the synopsis. Our story starts with Lowen Ashleigh, who is an aspiring romance novelist living in Texas. She has just been dumped by her boyfriend and is feeling down when she gets an email from a literary agency asking her to come to California and finish the remaining books in a successful series, the Selection series. The thing is, the author of the series, Verity Crawford, is in a coma after a car accident, so no one can continue the series. And after reading Lowe and her previous works, the agency thinks she is the right person for the job. So they ask her if she wants to take over the series. And even though at first she refuses, she eventually accepts the offer and goes out to California. When she gets there, she meets Verity Crawford, Verity's husband, and she starts to work on the final 2 books of the series. But while she is doing that, she finds a box full of unpublished manuscripts in Verity's office. These are 3 unpublished books that Verity had written before the accident, and Jeremy asks Lowen to read them, since he believes that they might contain some ideas that could help her finish the series. And although at first Lowen doesn't want to do it, thinking that it would be unfair to Verity, she eventually does it and discovers that these books are actually dark psychological thrillers instead of romance novels. As Lowen continues to work on the series, she starts to feel a strange connection to Verity and also becomes closer to Jeremy. They start to spend time together, and he even invites her to a party, but nothing happens between them. However, after the party, Lowen goes back to Verity's house and finds some old journals of hers. As she reads them, she learns about Verity's childhood and how she became a writer. It also becomes clear that Verity was not in an accident, but rather she had tried to kill herself. One day, Lowen comes across a hidden room in Verity's office where she finds more journals and unpublished manuscripts. In them, she discovers that Verity was planning to kill her own children after her divorce because she didn't think they deserved a life without their father. Later, she finds out that Verity had actually killed her sister years ago, and only Jeremy knows about it. At the same time, she discovers that Verity wrote another manuscript called Verity, which contains a lot of similarities with Lowen's own life. It's almost like Verity knew things about Lowen that she never told anyone. And this is where things get really weird, because at this point, Lowen finds out that she is pregnant, but the baby's father isn't her ex-boyfriend, but rather Jeremy. She confronts him, and he admits that he slept with Lowen when they were both drunk at his party, but he says that he didn't know she was pregnant. Even though Lowen is upset, she still decides to keep the baby and move back to Texas. After she leaves, Jeremy starts acting weird and sends her threatening messages. He tells her that she has something that belongs to him and that she needs to give it back. Confused, Lowen goes back to California and discovers that what he meant was Verity's unpublished manuscripts, including the one with the similarities to her life. After this, he begs her to come back to him and says that he never loved Verity, but Lowen refuses and decides to publish Verity's last book under her own name. The book is a success, and Lowen moves on with her life, but Verity wakes up from her coma and demands her work back from Lowen. She reveals that she faked the accident and only did it to get away from Jeremy, who was abusive and violent towards her. In the end, Verity tries to kill Lowen, but she manages to escape and runs away with Jeremy. Together, they plan to kill Verity and raise her son as their own. Okay, now that we've gone over the synopsis, let's talk about some of the characters. First, we have Lowen Ashleigh, who is our main character. She's a romance novelist who is hired to finish the selection series. She's a very determined person who is willing to do whatever it takes to achieve her goals. She's also very headstrong and independent, and overall, I liked her character. She's not perfect, but I think she's likable. Next, we have Verity Crawford, who is the author of the selection series. She's a very mysterious character who is not fully developed until the end of the novel, when it's revealed that she faked her coma. She's shown to be capable of great evil, but also of great love, which makes her a very complex character. Then we have Jeremy Crawford, who is Verity's husband. He's a very charming and charismatic character who is able to manipulate those around him very easily. He's also very possessive and controlling, which makes him a very dangerous character. Another character we have to discuss is Travis, who is Lowen's ex-boyfriend. He's a very sweet and supportive character who always has Lowen's best interest at heart. He's a good guy who treats Lowen well, but he's not able to control her feelings. Overall, I thought the characters were well developed and believable. They were all flawed individuals who made mistakes, but they were also likable and relatable. Moving on to the writing style, Colleen Hoover's writing is very engaging and easy to read. She writes in a first-person point of view and uses short, punchy sentences that keep the reader engaged. She's also very good at creating suspense and keeping the reader guessing what will happen next. Let's talk about the plot. The plot is very fast-paced and keeps the reader engaged. There are lots of twists and turns that keep the reader guessing what will happen next. For example, the revelation that Verity faked her coma was a major plot twist that I did not see coming. Another interesting aspect of the plot is the unreliable narrator. We're only given Lowen's point of view, and we don't know what to believe until the end of the novel when we get Verity's side of the story. This makes for a very suspenseful and intriguing read. Now, the ending of the novel is definitely a controversial one. Some readers found it to be satisfying, while others found it to be confusing and absurd. Personally, I thought it was an interesting conclusion to the novel that tied up all the loose ends. But I can understand why some readers were left unsatisfied. Overall, I think Verity is a well-written psychological thriller that is sure to keep you on the edge of your seat. The characters are well-developed and believable. The plot is fast-paced and suspenseful, and the writing style is engaging and easy to read. The ending may be controversial, but it is an interesting conclusion to the novel nonetheless. So if you enjoy psychological thrillers with a touch of romance, then I highly recommend checking it out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, please subscribe to show support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.